What is going on, everybody? I am the FD Guru, bringing to you guys a Week 2 NFL video covering the main slate using FanDuel salaries. Looking to have a better week than last week. Last week, to kick off the season was, some tough breaks, very unpredictable. But let's just see a huge Week 2 here so we can throw that first week in the back burner. As I said, I'm doing another pretty hefty Guru credit code in this video. 20 credits to all you guys. I'll give you that code after the first couple of my plays. As usual, I'm giving you a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and defense that I'm liking as of right now. Doing this video towards the end of the week, so maybe some injury things happening since from now until Sunday. But as of right now, these guys look like really good value plays at their respective salaries. Just give this video a like, guys. I'm going to try to do as many Guru credit codes in my NFL videos as possible this year, looking to have a nice week 2. So we have 12 games on this main slate, 8 in the early window at 1 o'clock Eastern, 4 in the afternoon window. These slates are always stacked up until the bye week start because you have all the teams playing. Then the bye week start, and you have your 2-game afternoon slates, which stink. But plenty of stuff to look at as of right now. At quarterback, I think we want to spend up. I'm liking Patrick Mahomes at Jacksonville. This should be arguably the best offensive game on the slate. Chiefs at Jaguars. It's got the highest over-under. I think it's the only over-under on the slate in the 50s at 51.5, I think, right now. Mahomes looked pretty damn good without Kelsey in week 1. 226 passing yards, 45 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. We can expect him to get over 20 fantasy points against the Jaguars, and it looks like Travis Kelsey is making his way back. Even if he ends up not playing or he is limited, I still think Mahomes is fine. I'm not worried about this Jaguars defense. I think it's a spot where you want to spend up on Mahomes. Obviously, Josh Allen has a great matchup at home against the Raiders, but he's $200 more, and we all saw how out of sync he looked on Monday Night Football against the Jets. So I'm going to go to Mahomes. If you want to be different, Josh Allen, you can obviously spend up on him. You obviously know his ceiling. He's as good as they come. I just like Mahomes a little bit more. He had a better week 1. And I like the matchup more. I think they're going to be throwing a lot on the road in Jacksonville. He's a guy that I'm looking at. For quarterback, I'm going to give you guys some cheap running back, wide receiver, tight end plays, so it makes it very easy to fit in Mahomes at that $9,000 salary. Running back, let's go to the rookie. Campbell on the Lions just reported yesterday on Wednesday that his rookie Gibbs is expected to see a higher workload. He was very, very questionable in week 1 on that Thursday night football game against the Chiefs because Dan Campbell came out and said that they are going to limit him and get his, feet underneath him to start his career, his season. And now in this note, first game out of the gate, there's again, man, and we really didn't want to overload any of those rookies. And now they've got the one under their belt. He'll begin to get more touches now, which is really good to see. That basically, in my eyes, is a full workload now. 5,800 for Gibbs against the Seahawks. This could borderline be the best value play on the slate. Gibbs is a guy who can catch the ball as well, so we don't have to worry too much about David Montgomery stealing his carries because we know Montgomery is going to get more carries, but Gibbs is so versatile. He's going to be used in more ways than one. This price is too cheap on him. Even if he isn't at a 100% workload, his limited workload in week 1 was still 7 touches, 2 receptions. The fact that they're, upping this workload, we could easily see double-digit rush attempts and, double the amount of catches and targets. So this makes for an awesome value play at only 5,800. The matchup couldn't be any better against the Seahawks. As you can see, out of the gate early, they rank really poorly after their first game. So I expect the Lions to do some damage this week at home against the Seahawks. Wide receiver, not as good of a matchup, but we can't ignore. Actually, let's do the Guru credit code. I always say after the first couple of my plays, go to my website, fd-guru.com, hit add Guru credits if you are signed in, or the shop page at the top. It doesn't matter. This brings you to the shop where you buy all of your Guru credits. You can put in the coupon bar. This code will get you 20 credits. Again, just give this video a like. Make sure you are subscribed. If you don't have an account on my site yet, it's easy to make one. You just got to confirm an email. No credit card required. These credits get you everything that I offer on my site. FanDuel, DraftKings, for football, baseball, golf is getting going once again now. Prize Picks and Underdog Slips. It's just the universal currency that gets you all of my work that I put on my website. So we got all caps. It's always all caps. Football 20. That represents the 20 Guru credits you are getting with this code, football 20. Again, give this video a like. Make sure you're subscribed. And those 20 credits will automatically be uploaded into your balance after a couple of seconds. Going to the wide receiver, we cannot ignore this performance that we saw out of the Rams and Puka Nacua. With Cooper Kupp already on the shelf for the first 4 weeks of this season, we saw the rookie Puka step right in. And granted, he's got a 49ers matchup this week, which is a lot more difficult than that Seahawks matchup. But we cannot shy away from someone who had 15 targets, 10 receptions, and 120 fantasy points. 120 receiving yards, 16.9 fantasy points for a guy who didn't even find the end zone. That is impressive. Obviously, it's a one-game sample size, and we can't get too crazy, but this price looks really good on a guy who looks like the number one option for Matthew Stafford with Cooper Kupp on the shelf. They're 7-point underdogs in this game. They're going to be throwing the ball. I expect them to be down. The 49ers, much better team than the Rams. So if they're down and they're throwing a lot, Nacua is going to get his targets. Probably not 15 targets that he saw in week 1, but he should get his fair share of targets, and being under 6,000 on FanDuel makes him a really good value play in my eyes. I think he's going to see plenty of work. It looks like Stafford. Trust this guy. 10 catches is nothing to scoff at after week 1. For tight end, let's go to another rookie. We got 3 rookies in this video, all rookies outside of Patrick Mahomes. Luke Musgrave, 5,000, starting tight end for the Packers, with Robert Tonyan bringing his talents over to Chicago. We have Musgrave as the number 1 tight end for the Packers, and we saw him get a decent workload. 4 targets, 3 receptions, 50 yards, 6.5 fantasy points is all we can ask for from a tight end at only 5,000. He's got a good matchup against the Falcons. Falcons are, nothing crazy, so I expect Jordan Love to continue his good play. He played really well against the Bears. Absolutely came into Chicago and blew them out. Maybe the Bears fans thought they were going to see some success with Aaron Rodgers out of town, but Jordan Love brings the misery right into Chicago that the Packers have been feeding Chicago for years and years and years. It's another good matchup. I think Musgrave is a fine play. Tight ends are wonky. You want to spend down on them because it's tough to spend up on a tight end every week. And they could just throw duds. We saw Isaiah Likely for the Ravens throw an absolute dud. I picked him everywhere. He caught the first catch of the game for 4 yards and did nothing after that. I had him in all of my lineups, a complete dud. I learned my lesson there. Never go 100% on a guy, especially a cheap tight end. I'm going to get a lot of exposure to Luke Musgrave this week, but I'm not going to do the whole Isaiah Likely thing and put him in every single lineup because it is just painful to have 100% of a guy and see him do nothing all game long. But I do like Musgrave as a cheap tight end here. He is the number 1. The one catch he didn't receive out of his 4 targets was a pretty deep throw too, so he could have had 10 fantasy points in this game. So Musgrave looks good. I expect the Packers to be fine in Atlanta, in the Dome, a nice offensive friendly environment in Atlanta. And then for the defense, it's impossible to not look at the Cowboys after what they just did to the Giants. I'm not only going off of that, but I'm going off of their matchup. It's 39 over under. They're big favorites, the Jets. We all know what happened. Aaron Rodgers down for the year. They got to sit with Zach Wilson now. This just looks like a fantastic spot for the Cowboys defense. This Jets offense is going to be in shambles. I think they did pull out the crazy win against the Bills, but unfortunately, in my opinion, I think that might be one of the only highlights of the entire Jets season now. Their roster is still talented, but I don't think Zach Wilson is the guy to get it done for them and meet the expectations that they had going into the season with Aaron Rodgers. I think the Cowboys get in Wilson's head. I think they turn him over plenty of times. Daniel Jones is a far better quarterback than Zach Wilson is, and they made Jones look like chump food. So $4,500 is a fine price on this defense. I usually don't look too deep into defenses. I usually just pick whoever fits the salary at the end of the day, at the end of the lineup. But the Cowboys defense is certainly jumping out to me this week with a great matchup at home against a, frazzled Jets team with no Rodgers. That'll do it for this video, guys. Let's have a nice week 2. Get that Guru credit code in there. Get your 20 credits. Like this video. Subscribe for all future videos. And I appreciate you guys for stopping by. As always, until next time, I am the FD Guru, and I'm signing off.